Welcome to Holding Space with Authentically Amy. This is a place where you don't have to perform, prove, or hold it all together. You're allowed to exhale, to feel, to speak, or just be. Here, your truth is safe, your emotions are honored, and your soul is gently invited to the surface. I'm not here to fix you because I don't believe you're broken. I believe your soul already knows the way. My role isn't to give you advice, but to hold a steady frequency of love so you have space to rise. This podcast is an extension of my own healing. If you're here, you belong, and I'm honored to sit beside you. Welcome to another episode of Holding Space with Authentically Amy. I'm your host, Amy Thurman, and I'm so glad you're here. Thank you guys for tagging along. You guys are sharing these episodes. You're loving this, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I am honored to have my friend with us today, Dr. Sarah Jeffries. Thank you so much for being here, friend.
Thank you for letting me be here with you. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. I have loved connecting with you. I feel like, the moment I met you, I was like, oh, we're friends. Like we have to be friends. That's just kind of how it is, you just know.
Yes, I felt that same way. And I was just thinking, we met at a conference in June, and what was occurring to me, oh, no, wait, it was in August,
August, yeah.
August in California. And what was occurring to me was it this August or was it last August? Like I couldn't remember the amount of Augusts because I feel like I've known you for a long time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and then I was going to ask you, I was like, was it really only a few months
It
ago?
was, yeah, I know, right?
Was it less
I
than a
think
year?
it was, yeah. Yeah, isn't that wild? But it's so cool. I mean, I think that's what we're about. Like we're supposed to
Yes,
be having those kind of connections with people where it's just a soul connection. You just know each
yes,
other and know that you're supposed to know each other. So
yes, yes.
I love
And
it. I'm so
I do too.
grateful.
I do too.
Yeah.
And to know that there's work we can do in the world.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So much, like so aligned. I just love it. And I'm just excited for you to be here. I want to go ahead and say, as I do with all my guests, that I'm just here to hold space. So if there's something that feels heavy on your heart or whatever it is that you would like to talk about today, I'm here to hold space for you. So I just want to turn it over to you and you can take it from there.
Yeah. That's such a great question, right? Like what is heavy on my heart? Or what is sitting in my heart? Or I think about prepositions, right? Like as a writer and a poet, like
Mm.
what is with my heart? What is moving around my heart? Um, and what's funny is like the heart for me is both this like beautiful electrical pump and this plumbing machine, like as the organ, right? And then the heart is also the thing in our body that keeps us alive and also like symbolically of like the larger source heart. So when you
Yeah.
say like what is heavy on your heart, I think first, like anatomically, like, what muscles are tight and what in my electrical energetic unit is heavy. Or even maybe in a more funny way, like where is my plumbing congested, right? Like what's not working
Yeah.
that way. And then I think source wise, like bigger, like the heart of the universe, what is heavy there, right? And I I take in moments of social media at certain times of day and moments of the news at the day. But I think for me, the biggest thing that's kind of heavy on my heart, right, is this is a lot for a podcast, but
Sure.
it's sort of the understanding or confusion of attention to the Epstein files,
Mm.
right? Like I am wondering why we need a dead man's files to believe women.
Mm. Yeah.
I am wondering why, as a country, we are obsessed with the language in the files when we have survivors,
Mm.
right? And as a
Hmm.
survivor, of assault as a survivor who has struggled and has gone to retreats and done work and is still present in her own body, um, I feel for those women. And they are
Yeah.
so brave. And when they hold pictures of themselves at 14 and 15, I can't help but think of my own struggles at 14 and 15 and my youngest daughter who is 16, right? Like I think of that special teenage year space and time. And so I think what is heavy on my heart is how can we believe women?
Mhm.
How do we not need files in order to believe women? And how can we really understand that that was a multinational, multi-generational sex trafficking madness so that we don't do it again?
Mhm.
And I know that's a lot, Amy, to start
Yeah.
with on the podcast, but that's for real, right? Like
Yeah.
it was a massive organization, and that there were women who brought girls to men, and there were institutions and doctors that swept a lot of stuff under, right? So lots of things occur to me. How can we learn more about sex trafficking so we don't do it again? How can we honor and respect the survivors, right? How can there be justice? How can we I don't need to see any more of it. I already see,
Yeah.
right? Like what we see
Yeah.
in our head, we see in our eyes. What I see in the world, I see inside. So I don't need any more. I don't need to go read them all. I don't need to, right? And that's me. Other people might say they need to read them more. I don't need to read to believe. I already know it's true.
Yeah.
And so how can we offer honor and love to the survivors? How can we say, I believe you.
Mhm.
I believe you. And
Yeah.
and how can we help those younger girls who are still being trafficked right now? Right? Because it's not like Epstein's Island was the one trafficking thing in the whole world, right? Like, how do we
Yeah.
reduce the amount of sex trafficking in the world?
Mhm.
Um, and that's everything from like, how do we do that to like, how do I protect my daughter who says, Mama, did you see these files? And I'm like, did you? Like, I don't like, oh, like, can you not,
Right.
about, and I'm not saying like every child has to have social media all the time, but
Yeah.
there is this element of a mama that wants to protect. Um,
Yeah.
and I wonder too about the mamas of the victims. Did they think they were protecting those girls? Did they not know? Did they know? All of those things occur to me, right? And
Yeah.
everything from the doctor who was the gynecological doctor at Ohio State who was taking money. Like it is a whole system around sex trafficking. And I cannot unpack that system.
Yeah.
I can say to those women, I believe you.
Mhm.
And perhaps I can be more educated about how sex trafficking works in the world and more, I want to say more protective of my teenage child because she would be like, Mama already. But um, how can we hold space for them?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because all of us have stories in which we are surviving something.
Mhm.
And I've been thinking about the girls who are currently being sex trafficked, who are watching the Epstein files. And I've been thinking about myself as a survivor, and I've been thinking about older survivors and the ways in which we need to believe women earlier, sooner, faster.
Mhm. Yeah. It's just what comes to my mind, and this is an an interesting example that may seem like it doesn't fit, but I feel like it does. This is what comes up for me when you're talking, and I feel like I need to share it. I heard recently someone sharing that, like, really our closest relative, like chimps, is this other species, and I can't remember what it's called. Not baboon, but it's something else. And that it is a female dominated species. Like this species is dominated by females, and there is only one account of them ever killing each other, like
Mhm.
with chimps and with gorillas and with that species. They're killing each other all the time. They're battling it out for who's in charge, who has power. But
Mhm.
this female dominated
Mhm.
species, there's only one documented case of them killing another one of them, and
Right.
that was a male, because he was attacking an infant, one of their young ones. And those mamas came out and said, "Oh no, we're not putting up with this." And
Mhm.
they killed him and they bit off his testicles. Like they just totally, right? So
Right.
they're serious. Like
Yeah.
they know. I just, this fascinates me because I'm like, women know. Like, why aren't we trusting them? Because this species shows it right there. We are a peaceful people. Like, women are peaceful people, and we can
Yes.
learn so much from this species by
Yes.
studying them. It just fascinates me. But that's what came to mind when you were talking, because we have so much information, so much knowledge, so much peace that we can bring to the world
Mhm.
if they would listen to us, if they would, just acknowledge that we have that power
Mhm.
as
Mhm.
women.
Mhm. And yeah, I hear that. And like, how do we listen to each other better? How do we believe each other more? How do we trust each other more? Right? How do we say, I got your back? Right?
Yeah.
Um, for a system like that island to exist, there was a system of people protecting it, right? Um, the same is true in the Catholic Church. The same is true in the Boy Scouts, right? It's not one person who did one thing to one person, right? But it's a whole construction of a community of people who are willing to be silent, right? And also, I think about like, and what now, right? What now for
Yeah.
those survivors? Um, how do they move forward? Is it breath work? Is it yoga? Is it writing? Is it medicine? Is it some combination, right? Because for me, I I do yoga every day so I can keep my head on straight.
Right.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing, right? Like yoga is, of course, connecting the mind and body. And as someone who survived assault in the body, I didn't want to land back in the body for many years. I had survived by keeping the body as a stranger. I had survived by
Mhm.
keeping the body over here and living here. And yoga brought me back down,
Mm.
right? Back down in my body, back down in my heart. And so back down in my breath, right? One of the things that I feel so grateful to do with clients in my work is to help them breathe words into life, whether those are poetry words or essay words or article words or dissertation words, but to breathe them into life through laying on the mat, right? Like through meditation. So I think a lot about stillness and pause. And I think a lot about how yoga has helped calm my nervous system.
Mhm.
Anatomically, of course, about the way it impacts the vagus nerve and the breath and the parasympathetic system, but also like how it has helped calm me. But we have the question of, can we land back in our bodies? And how and why? And how do you land back in your body when the body is the thing that has been violated?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. What comes to mind for me is all this is surrounded by fear.
Yes.
It's it's fear is what accelerates this.
Yes.
Fear is what started it. Fear is what accelerates it. It's all built on fear. It's based on fear. Fear promotes it.
Yes.
And I really feel like that is the key for us is to help people learn to turn more into love instead of fear. And, as an authenticity expert, which is what I do, what I am, I'm also learning that love isn't the greatest power on the planet. Like authenticity is actually greater than love. Like it vibrates at a higher frequency than love. And so
Mm.
if we're talking about moving away from fear into love and then authenticity, it's going to take exactly what you said, slowing down,
Hmm.
understanding who we are beneath the fear, because the fear is covering up all of these other things, right? And so it's getting back to who we are authentically underneath all of that fear and
Hmm.
learning to love and embrace that part of ourselves. Because while love is a powerful thing, it starts with us. Like we have to love ourselves, who we are at our core
Right.
first, before we can ever turn and love anyone else, before we can ever move away from fear.
Yes.
I know you know this.
But it's so true. And fear is like the thing that it's like the lens over our eyes that we kind of rub out in the morning. Um,
Yeah.
and I think about, do I move away from fear? Do I move even if I'm afraid? Right? Like, how is it that I cannot let fear be on my heart heavy? Right? Because we could watch the Epstein files, or we could watch the news, or we could watch sex trafficking and be terrified and never
Hmm.
leave the house.
Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
Um, and yet at the same time, how do we move with love and authenticity? I've been thinking about how the fear makes us move this way, right? Like protect, protect, armor up, and
Yes.
um, harden, right? And I've been thinking about how love and authenticity has more of a vibration, but also a movement and is more open.
Yeah.
Um, and moving with love and away from fear is not easy.
No, it's not.
And I was thinking about how when you said that, I was like, it's kind of a decision you make 24 times a day, at least every hour, if not maybe twice an hour, if not four times, right?
Uh-huh.
Because as soon as
Yes.
you have, right, like as soon as you have a fear, you have a choice. Like, am I going to move away from this, or can I move the way that love makes me move? And then
Mm,
about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 60 minutes later, you have like another, at least me, I have another moment, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm afraid. Do I move? Like, what do I do with this fear? Right? I feel like a lot of life is fear or pain management.
hmm. Yeah.
And
I,
yeah.
I have learned a couple things here. I have learned that fear is actually part of our communication system. It
Mm,
helps us figure out what's important to us. If we're fearing
right.
something, it's because there's something important to us that we're afraid is not going to go the way we want it to, or, fear of our lives, that kind of thing. But I think that, society really pushes us to live in fear. So we
Hmm.
don't really know what it feels like to not live in fear. So I think, having to make that decision, 45 times a day, that can be hard because we don't really know. Like we're so accustomed to living in fear. When we have fear, we don't really know that's happening. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, but like you and I, we have done enough work and we have practiced this enough where we know when that fear comes up, we feel it, it feels differently in our bodies
Yes.
because we now know what love and authenticity feels like. But if you don't know what love and authenticity feels like, then it's hard to distinguish that in your body.
Yes. And also, I was thinking when you feel, or when I feel fear, there is much in the world that echoes that.
Hmm.
So if I feel afraid, and then I'm like, well, this is the evidence in the world that says I should be afraid.
Yeah.
Right. And so it feels like mirror, parallel, mirror, right? Like I see it. I see it. I feel it. I feel it. I see it. right? Um, and and then to be like, wait, can I go with love, right? Um, can I not lean into the fear as much as it's asking me to? The other thing that occurs to me is when one has survived assault, the amplification or the volume of fear feel for me anyway, I'm not saying for everyone, feels distorted. So little things feel very afraid. Big things feel even more afraid. So sometimes it feels like turning down the level of fear or hypervigilance, a degree or two, versus being like, okay, fear, you're out. Okay,
Yeah.
love, you're in.
Right. If only it was that easy.
No, it's so not that easy. But
No,
it's
it's
kind of
not.
like, can I soften the fear a little? Can I turn up the volume of love and authenticity? Right? Um,
Mhm.
and for me, the way to do that is writing and yoga and meditation, right?
I
Like
was
those are the
just,
sort of three ways of being
yeah,
like, how do I turn the fear down a little? How do I raise the authenticity and love vibration? I can't do that just in my head.
yeah. I was going to say that it's fear has our nervous system in overdrive. Like it's just revving, revving, revving. And
Yeah.
we have to do something to help bring it down, to calm our nervous system. And all
Yes.
of those things that you practice and that you teach and that you mentioned are ways of doing that. I mean, that's
Yes.
what people need.
Yes. And sometimes it literally is bringing my head to my feet. Like sometimes sitting up straight feels like all the information coming in my senses and eyes and ears is amplifying fear. And so sometimes it's to close the eyes and bring the head closer to the ground,
Mm,
right? To just literally like for me it's about turning inward, but it's also sometimes about changing the circulation in the blood so that in the bending, I can soften a little bit,
mm.
right? Like
It,
if we feel afraid, and then information wise or sense wise, the world runs on that motor,
mhm,
right? Like what I hear you saying, it's revved up,
mhm,
revved up, revved up, runs on that motor. Um, for me to soften it, sometimes I have to go inward or I have to change how I'm physically am so that I'm not as attuned to the revving. Right? That's why, like, for
mhm.
example, I know people say this all the time, but like, I don't start with my phone in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't, I've learned now, it took me a long time to not go
Yeah.
to bed with my phone, right? To not
Mhm,
go to bed with the news, or even not even to go to bed like laying down. I've been trying this practice lately. I don't know if you do this, but laying down and being like, okay, I'm not going to list all the things that I didn't do
mhm.
because then I don't want to sleep.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's like, oh, I'm afraid about this, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do this, versus, okay, I I was able to offer love here. I made a good meal. I kept a child alive,
Mhm.
right? And to bring that notion of I'm gonna go to bed and go to sleep now a little bit softer, right? Because even coming back to the heart, when we are amplified in the fear, like revved up, the heart is revved up. And then it's hard to soften, right? And that's also where we have like blood pressure issues.
That's true. Yeah, I know. I same thing. Like I don't my phone, I don't look at it before I go to bed or when I first wake up. And but I do start with gratitude. Like I would just lay in my bed before I go to sleep. This is how I've learned to go to sleep is
Yeah.
by thinking of all the things that went well that day. Like, can
Yes.
you believe that this happened the way it did? Thank you so much for working this out. Thank you for
Yes.
protecting me as I drove here or there.
Yes.
I just and I fall asleep in that, in that mindset and with that heart. And
Yes.
something else that helps me that we didn't mention because we talked about slowing down and helping the nervous system to settle, but also when we're in a state of fear, we have all of this energy like flowing through our body, and sometimes we have to do movement. Like I
Yes.
crazy dance in the kitchen. like,
Yes.
like nobody's
Yes.
watching. And I just to
Yes.
get some of that energy out. If
Yes.
especially if I feel fear, boy, I just crazy move my body and to
Yeah.
help it move through that because the energy does need to move through the body to get
Yes.
out.
Yes. No,
And
I
I think
agree. And
yoga
my
helps.
is like usually like shaking the hands or like shaking the head or just kind of like shaking it all through,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, work it. Yeah.
Um, because in the shaking, I can shake off some of the fear.
Mhm.
You know what else I was thinking about fear when you were talking? Is I was thinking about how for me, many times fear is a lie maker.
Mm.
Many times fear is a sentence maker that creates this thing that looks like a truth that's actually a lie.
Yeah.
And so, and in fear, I have a harder time hearing, oh, wait, maybe that's a lie. Wait, maybe that's not true. Wait, maybe that's also not true, right? But for
Mhm.
me, fear, I feel it in my body. I can taste it. There's like a cortisol taste.
Real interesting.
And then it arrives as a sentence like some hardened fact, like you are not lovable, or
Mm.
you are not worthy, or you will make a beautiful girlfriend, but not a wife, right? Like some
Mm.
lie. And it
Yeah.
comes uh, hard, hard and fast and astute. And that's for me where like the writing comes, where I can write that out. And then whether it becomes an essay or a poem or a critique, I somehow am able to see that it's a lie on the page. This is
Mhm.
just coming to me as we're talking, right? Because
Uh,
I didn't know this about myself. This is why I'm so grateful.
yeah.
The lie in my head that arrives out of fear that comes out of my mouth before the pen feels like like absolutely not a lie. And that it
Mm.
is in the writing that I am unable to undress the lie and find the truth.
Mm. That's so beautiful. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I journal so much and I have my
Yes.
clients journal and I just tell them, they're like, I don't know what to say. And I just say, start with, I don't know what to say, like literally writing, I
Yes.
don't know what to say. I'm supposed to be
Yes.
writing about this, but I don't know what to say. And then crazy stuff starts surfacing and coming
Yes.
out. And it's
Yes.
so true because you're getting rid of that filter and those layers that you are protecting yourself and you're getting down into what's really there. And
Yes.
there is something about writing that does that. But I mean, you are a prolific writer. Like you have poetry books and things, right?
Yes, I do. I have three actually. My third one is just out. And if you're open, I'd love to read a poem or two
Yeah, yeah,
to
please
your
do.
audience.
Of
Okay, let
course,
me
I would love that.
grab it. Hold on.
Yeah,
Can you still hear me?
I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so sometimes from writing, I'll just say before I read this poem, sometimes from writing, they come from dreams and they come at different times where I am like the different points of view in the dream. And I've also been thinking
Wow.
about that with lies and truth, that when I have fear and I feel it in my belly and I taste the cortisol and I have some kind of thought that feels like a lie, in order to see if I can unpack it, I have to ask questions about the point of view. Like, to whom is that
Mm,
true? Right? How
mm,
old are you when you thought that? Are you the 20-year-old Sarah? Are you the 10-year-old Sarah? Are you the 15-year-old Sarah? Are you the 30-year-old Sarah? Like, how old is that thought? Right? Because sentences, fear statements have age to them.
mm. That's so
Anyway, so
true.
this next poem, I had a dream where I was the magician cutting the woman in half. I was the woman in the box being cut in half, and
Oh,
then
okay.
the women in the audience watching the woman being cut in half.
Wow.
And so it's called The Assistant.
Okay.
In the dream, I am in the box, and you saw me in half. My red heels stick outside of this coffin. My top half rolls around the magician, and I smile and wave at all the women in the audience. They wave back, cheer me on, tell me to keep pressing forward. But then I am the top-hatted and happy magician, sawing myself in half in a drawer, as if I've been doing this my whole life and calling it love. And then I am in the audience, seeing myself have myself in this closet. How is it I can be in half and whole, or somehow in all three bodies? And why does the metal of the saw go back and forth like a metronome? You always cut on the pull. And what tempo could possibly stitch me back together again? That's called The Assistant.
The line about cutting yourself in half, like
I'm,
I just,
I'm calling it
yeah, I'm
love.
like, it just hit me like we do that.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
do that. And we don't
yeah.
even realize that's what we're doing.
No.
Yet this is what poetry and writing can do. Like it can help us see from a whole different perspective. And I just absolutely love that.
Thank you.
So
And
beautiful.
I think I felt the fear of if I cut myself in half more, I will be loved.
Hmm.
And that was the lie. Keep cutting yourself more in
Yeah,
half.
because
Cut
like
yourself
in that
more.
show, like that's the part where people clap. They
Yes,
cheer when the person is cut in half because that's the thing they want to see. They're amazed by that,
right.
but that's not what we're supposed to be doing. Like that's so,
Oh,
I mean, when we think about it, it's so distorted, you
yes,
know? But
yes,
it's so what we do.
yes.
It's so
And that's why
wild.
it's like fear. So that is the first poem in the manuscript called Lucky to Have You. It's Finishing Line Press.
Ah,
It's a manuscript that looks at all the ways in which love and luck and loss are related.
hmm,
So, for example, when we have luck, there is something that we lose. And when we have loss, we can. I had a friend say to me, "You are not responsible for all the things that harmed you. You are, however, responsible for how long you let it haunt you."
hmm.
And I was like, "Girl, get off my feet." I got so mad, right? But when we have loss, there is sometimes some kind of luck in it,
Hmm.
unless we're agreeing to be haunted for decades. If we only see loss as loss and not something that, and I don't necessarily mean lesson or beauty or why it had to happen, but something in it, like a little like eye drop of something we might call luck in the middle of a loss. There's that great story of the man who lives in a village. I'm going to mess it up. I'm sure you've heard it. But he lives in a village. He has three sons, and he gets these horses, and I love horses. And one day,
Yeah.
younger son, gets on the horse, and he falls off and he breaks his leg. And the neighbor goes, "Oh my God, so unlucky for you. You have two healthy sons, but one who broke his leg and on the horse, and like the hospital is way far away, like medical care, like it'll take forever and he may not like ever be able to use that leg well again, right?" And the old man says, "Yes, it's awful. My son fell off the horse," and he feels that loss. Yeah. And then he also says, "And it happened." And then the next day the army comes and they pull all the healthy sons and take them to war. So he loses two and keeps one because the
Hmm.
broken-legged son can't be sent to war.
Hmm.
And then he says, "How lucky my son has a broken leg, so I have one son."
Wow.
And that story
That's
has stayed with me.
so powerful.
Isn't that really powerful? I mean,
Hmm.
Rumi says the light comes where the wound is, right? The
Yeah.
wound is the place for the light. I don't always love that. And I don't
Hmm.
say that all of my wounds have moments of light.
Yeah.
But he was glad to have one son with a broken leg because he didn't then lose all three children.
Hmm.
So I've been thinking in loss, was there something that was lucky? Like, whew, right? And in luck, in moments where I thought everything was so amazing, I have lost things. Keys, purses, makeup, or people.
Mm.
So luck and loss to me are close,
Mm.
and they meet in moments of love, romantic love. And that's what the book is about. Lucky to find you, right? Because that's what we say when we meet someone who's amazing. I'm so lucky to find you.
Uh-huh.
Lucky to keep you, and then lucky to lose you.
Mm.
And so I've been thinking about that dynamic. People move in and out of our lives. We move in and out of people's lives. And we are lucky when we are with them. And sometimes the dynamic is then complete, and we are lucky to have them move on. And so that's what the book wrestles with.
That is so profound. Like I have chills.
Oh, that's what I've been thinking about a lot. When you say, like, what's on your heart? I'm like, all the moments in which I
Wow.
thought I was lucky and I actually ended up losing things, and
Yeah.
all of the weeks that I was in loss. And there were moments of luck in the middle of it.
Mm.
We don't always see the moments of luck.
Yeah.
We think
Yeah.
luck is like a lottery ticket or a dime on the corner. Um,
Yeah.
but I think luck is the saliva of God. I think luck is the haiku of the divine. I think luck is the moment in which God or spirit or energy is like, "Hey, here you go." Right? You're crazy. Here you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, um,
Yeah.
not just like the rainbow in a storm, but a reminder. Luck is a reminder that um, there are larger forces at work
Mhm.
that operate in love that hold us together.
That's so beautiful. Oh my
Doesn't make the
gosh.
loss disappear. It doesn't make the loss feel better. It doesn't make me less angry about loss, right? And I've done a
Yeah.
lot of healing around surviving assault, and
Mm.
I thought I was good. And then when the Epstein files came up again, I was like, "Ugh, okay, hold on."
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
I had to go back and like hold the 14 and 15-year-old girl who survived.
Mm.
Um, and think about moments that were lucky for her in all of that loss.
Mm. Wow, that's so powerful. Ah, I love that. So this is the one, your book that's coming out soon?
Yes, it's pre-ordering right now
Okay.
for Finishing Line Press,
Okay.
and it'll be printed in March, and mailed out and distributed to people in April and May. Are you okay if I were to read another poem from it?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Um, I'm gonna just pull up another one that I think is really
Sure.
um, going along those same things that we've been talking about, um, of luck and love. Thank you for your patience.
Of course. That's what holding space is all about. Being patient.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think I'll read this one. So, this poem is called On Your Birthday, and it's
Oh.
one of those poems that holds like loss in it and luck in it,
Mm.
right? It holds the things that you didn't get or want when you suddenly turn a new age, and
Mm.
it holds the moments of luck or joy. Luck is also, for me, surprises,
Yeah.
right? And whether it's like, oh my gosh, a parking spot that's close, or
Yes.
oh my gosh, a quarter on the ground, or um, oh my gosh, a kind word from someone, or a thank you card, right? Um, or sometimes luck is like a 2 hour delay on a snow day because you get extra
Mm.
time,
Hmm.
right? Sometimes luck is, I was recently traveling and I was so grateful and I flew to North Carolina, but I had to stop in JFK and I got off at A18. And then I got out and I put my stuff down and I looked at my phone to see what gate the next flight was. And we had been de-icing in New York. So my
Oh,
50 minutes had turned to like 30, maybe 25. And I was like,
oh,
they're boarding soon. What gate am I at?
yeesh.
And it changed to A18. Who walks out of the gate and walks back in? I was like, win, total win,
Wow.
right? I thought I had to go to the other side of JFK. No, I just
Right.
sit down, turn back. And I was like,
That's so cool.
luck, you know? So luck is sometimes consecutive time moments that come together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is called On Your Birthday. On your birthday, resurrection is your middle name. You can make a phoenix jealous. Daily, you can whip obedience from the ashes. You know how to set fire when they all swore it was out for the night and had doused the pit with water. You were not supposed to make it this far. There was the fallen one who held you in the fort, the other one who held you at the altar, halved and quartered you, the one who strung you across kindling, seasoned and turned you as if you were a pig. There was the fallen one who fried you in a pot of oil too close to the garage. Every one of those men has evaporated. And here you are, surprised, at 48, in a green chair with a jade and a window, begging the clock to breathe a little longer, go further, begging that virus to keep her lips off you, though you have not been kissed this year. Forgetting the tongue of another in your mouth, still you buy lipstick, still you floss. Hope is the thing with feathers. And your father arrived this year for the second act you might have, and you want to take his hand, say, my lines are yours, look at my thumbs, but you still wonder how long he will stay. He was not here in the first half of your life, but here he is now. And you are source, and you are in no hurry to meet source, though you think of making a death folder for your children, as if a binder with color-coded files could mother them. You will teach them to set fire. You will teach them to be the water. You know they will live without you. You are betting on it.
Hmm. Holy cow. Just so
I'm
much, so deep, so good.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. One of the things that inspired me about that poem is I read this news article about a woman who said her mom died and she didn't have the passwords or know how to get in the bank accounts or know how to open the like safe or she didn't have anything, right? And her mom had been sick and died, and she was mad because there had not been a plan of what to do to live in the world, not just without her mom,
Hmm.
but to live with the things that her mom had set up for her. And I
Hmm.
think of that, right? Like
Yeah.
I I am grateful to be alive, and I'm grateful to
Yeah.
have two children. And if I were to pass, I need to know that they would know the password to the bank account. Not that there's yet millions in it, but like I would want them to know they
Right.
can live without me.
Yes.
Right? Can they live
Yeah.
without me? Even if their heart
Hmm.
has my name on it, can they actually live? So I was like, a death folder makes a lot of sense, right? Like,
Hmm.
this is the passwords. This is the name of the person who's the lawyer. This is the dentist, like just facts. Because when loss arrives, it is hard to make decisions and breathe and think. And a folder that says, like, here are the details, here's
Hmm.
where you might find some luck,
Hmm.
I think is really loving.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even Apple ID, right? Because you're like, oh, I have to get
Yeah.
in my parents' phone or something. And like, how you do that
Yeah.
if you don't
Hmm.
have their password,
Right?
right?
Yeah. That's
Um,
oh, so good. We could talk forever. Like literally we could go on forever, but I do want you to be sure to tell people a little bit what you about what you do, how they can reach you, how you can help them, beyond
Yeah.
this beautiful soul that you are,
Oh,
what
thank
you're
you.
doing in the world. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm a poet, of course, and a yoga teacher. I run a business called Right Now. And in that business, I help people breathe words into the moment. I help
It's
them breathe
WRITE. So right. Yes.
WRITE.now. So
Yeah.
can I help you breathe life into the words that you want? Whether those words are a dissertation or a poem or a story or an essay or a novel, doesn't matter. I use breath work and meditation and yoga to release writing blocks. So people who are in the middle of a project and they're like, I need a writing coach, it's me. You want to find me? It's www.sarahjeffress.com or sarah@sarahjeffress.com. My IG is drjeffress.writeNow, WRITE.now. I'm happy to help you with your writing project. I also do speaking engagements about writing, writing strategies, meditation, and yoga that helps you move through the part where you got stuck trying to complete your project. And I do workshops, yoga and writing workshops. My next one is coming up called Mat to Pen. It's a short Sunday evening series. It's 90 minutes. On Sunday evenings at 7:30, it'll be on Zoom. And we use meditation, writing, and gentle yoga for anyone, anybody. You can do it in a chair, you can do it on the floor, really gentle yoga to help us move through the blocks so that we can create, so that we can let go of some of the fear, so that we can turn up love and authenticity. And that's Mat to Pen. The next one is February 22nd at 7:30 to 9 p.m. And it's 5 Sunday evenings in a row. And it's by Zoom. If you're interested, please feel free to reach out to me, sarah@sarahjeffress.com. Thank you, Amy. It's so
Yeah.
nice to talk to you.
You too. I love all that you're doing in the world, and just like the world needs you. Like the world needs what you're doing, and it's just so beautiful. I will be sure to put all of your links in the show notes along with the link to your TEDx talk because you have a
Yes,
TEDx around
yes,
this as well. And
yes.
it's just so powerful. It really is. Thank you for being you.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank,
of course. Yeah. Oh, so good. Well,
thank you.
thank you so much for tuning in, for being here for another episode. And again, please share this so we can get this message out to the world. If you are interested or know someone who would be a good guest for me, please email me, amy@getamyshelp.com. For more info, check out my website at getamyshelp.com. And until next time, I will be here holding space for you. Thank you for being here. And to my guest, thank you for your honesty, your courage, and your truth. It's an honor to hold space for people like you. If something in this episode stirred something in you, if you breathed deeper, softened, or felt a pull inward, consider this your invitation. Whether you're ready to share publicly or prefer to remain anonymous, I'd love to hold space for you too. This work isn't just for podcasts, it's for people everywhere. And I'm bringing it into businesses, schools, communities, organizations, anywhere humans need a place to be and for someone to hold space for them. To learn more or to schedule your own session or to be a guest on this podcast, visit www.getamyshelp.com or just reach out to me. I'll meet you with open arms and a quiet, sacred seat. Until next time, thank you for being beautifully, unapologetically human.